common refrain when Jurgen Klopp decided to leave Liverpool, and you heard it everywhere, was, "Watch out, Liverpool fans. You are going to have a problem," because the culture of Jurgen Klopp, 9 years at the helm, such a strong personality. Can the culture of the club contain that? If you think of what happened at Man United after Alex Ferguson, if you think of Arsenal after Arsene Wenger, really difficult when you see a club, an entity, any business that is so integrally involved in a singular person or singular cultural icon having a smooth transition. And it's been quite phenomenal to watch at Liverpool this season that Arne Slot has been able to come in and the organization has managed to be so effective that sat here today, they look like the leading party to win the Premier League this year. Compare that to Chelsea Football Club, where the personality culture was not around a manager, but was around ownership, an ownership culture and structure of win at all costs or be fired under Roman Abramovich, and was loved for it by the fans, maybe not so much by the media, where the transition now seems to be more stable. The team is playing better, but it's taken several managers to get to the point and a bit more time and transitioning people off the pitch and the executive group to get to the point where the culture looks strong enough and culturally stable enough to be proceeding. The whole point of this is that culture really matters. It's not just the numbers when you're looking at these sports teams as an investment opportunity. The culture matters. I think perhaps the best examples you can see right now is the Washington Commanders. Josh Harris paid circa $6 billion for an NFL franchise that had a very difficult prior ownership in Dan Snyder, openly, I think, reviled by the fan base. Difficult culture on and off. It played out in the media. It played out in emails. It played out everywhere. And it was not a happy place. And because of that, they didn't play well on the field. They chose the wrong coaches, etc. But you fast forward just 12 months, and I don't think Josh Harris or any of his team would have believed that they would have been where they are today. But fixing the culture, turning that around, getting people on the right boat going the same direction, pulling for each other, and fixing the old culture. Here they are, having won a playoff game. 12 games, I think it was, in the regular season. That's phenomenal. It's absolutely phenomenal. The whole area of DC is just, buzzing because, they identify as Redskins fans, Washington Commanders fans, and this is really quite something for them, I think. It's really quite an experience to see the culture change like that. I think, Amanda Staveley and PIF going in at Newcastle, same thing. There was a really difficult relationship between the fan base, the ownership, and the squad, and up and down. And, I had the pleasure of bumping into Amanda at an event once. And I think my one comment to her was I was super impressed with the people that she had employed in Darren Eales, Pete Silverstone, Dan Ashworth, because these are really good quality people who changed the culture, set a new tone, fixed the relationship with the fans, started investing, yes, in players, but just the whole nature of the club changed with those appointments and with that incoming investment. I don't think that is an easy thing to pull off. The last one I would say is, listening to Zach Brown of McLaren on High Performance, excellent podcast. It was remarkable to listen to I think the phrase was no poison biscuits. But again, they had a complicated journey. Yes, they've made good investments. They've been well backed by Talakat and the company and the family office. But making the changes, which were difficult changes to make under pressure, to make them, remove the poison biscuits, get things going forward. I refer to it as kind of like the All Blacks, no a-holes kind of concept. It's a wonderful thing to see when it happens. And I think when investors are looking at sports teams and how to invest in them and what it is, they should really be thinking about, what is the culture at this club? What needs fixing? What doesn't need fixing? How do we help steer it in a way in which this clearly can be a successful organization? And it's not just throwing money at it. Plenty have done that. I think you're seeing with the Carolina Carolina Panthers, again, another complicated scenario, an incredibly bright human being in David Tepper, and clearly struggling to figure out what the tone is and how he wants it run and who the coach should be. And they've made misstep after misstep. And, I think when David Tepper came in, everyone thought what a great job he was going to do. And he's really struggled. It's a very different world. It's not that it's not well-meaning by David Tepper. I don't think anyone's ever said he's a nasty piece of work or anything like that. That's certainly no allegations there that I've ever seen. But the culture in the clubhouse is clearly difficult, and that's fascinating to watch. So when you run the numbers, run the culture analysis, I promise you, it makes a massive difference to winning or losing.